a long form video in a long while. I'm finally back with this type of content, and guess what? I'm gonna be talking about something that I've always wanted to talk about since a long period of time. So around last year, a lot of things happened, and that has made me realize this one thing. Okay, this one thing being self-improvement is not just limited to material aspect of things. Like, you could grow how much you ever want physically. You could grow how much you ever want in terms of like achieving accomplishments, getting to places that you want to get to, how much money you want to get. You can do all of these things. You can achieve. You can become an overachiever. But at the end of the day, are you truly improving yourself, bro? Maybe you are getting more confidence. Maybe you are building a better version of yourself. That is all true, right? You are becoming a better version from who you were yesterday and stuff like that. That's what's happening through this so-called self-improvement. But then there's multiple facets to self-improvement. It's not just limited to physical. There's mental, there's social. Can you read people? Can you read a room full of people? Are you a good listener? Are you able to cast off your ego when it comes to listening to other people? Are you able to sit with yourself and avoid comfort? There's a lot of things that comes into just living life and making the best out of it. Are you emotionally intelligent? How would you know? And what like, these are all questions that you need to kind of ponder upon and think about whether if you truly are. And most of the times you would be affirming, or maybe you'll be like telling yourself that, oh yeah, I am good at these things in my life and I don't really need to work on these things, and that the only regions of life that I need to focus on and work on should be my studies, my productivity, physical abilities, training, sports, football, physique, or whatever. You are right. You sure are right. But then you're not growing, are you? So we're going to talk about all of this in this video, and I want to really like go into depth, right? So I've written down the stuff that I want to talk about, and let's just dive deep into it. If you want to actually engage in a proper discussion with me, because I could create a short form video on this, but I don't want to like just keep it short and keep it a video that doesn't have the depth that it requires to actually, change your life. I want this video to kind of bring about some insights or some different perspectives within you that could make you kind of view life in a different way, that could help you to become a better person from the one that you are right now. So this is what I wanted the video to be structured as like highlighting the main point being you are improving, but not where it truly matters, right? Thing is, I really thought, like around last year, I really thought that I was improving. But I was only improving in the places that made me feel good about myself, right? And that meant building a better physique, becoming a better footballer, becoming a better writer, becoming a better speaker, becoming a better content creator. I was surely improving in all of these aspects of life, but I was only improving in these places that made me feel self-confident and powerful in a certain sense. Like, I was obviously able to make a significant amount of gym progress. I was able to inculcate this habit of discipline within me, which is obviously key, right? Mentality of hustling on a daily basis, obsession, being addicted to the path that I've chosen. All of these things are beautiful, but it overlooks one certain aspect of life, which is, discipline is one thing, and the experience of life that you get is another, right? There's gonna be a lot of problems that you're gonna face that's not related to just your health or your body, and it requires some sort of a maturity that comes from within, right? You gotta make these decisions for yourself and for the well-being of others. What if you're suddenly faced with the decision of saving the world or saving someone close to you? You might make the wrong decision that could harm everyone else. But an emotionally intelligent or a mature person who has taken the effort to become a better person in all aspects of life would make a calculated decision at that point of time. You also feel really self-confident at the fact that you know certain things, but you do not let the ego that you have within you control you and tell you that you know better than others. No. But yeah, this was who I am. This was who I was, right? I was getting significant progress in all of these aspects of life, and I thought that I was truly becoming a better person. But then something happened which made me realize that I truly hadn't grown mentally at all. I was mentally in the same place, but in the other dimensions of life I was growing. But what is the point of growing in other dimensions of my life when I couldn't even like maintain my own, like, what is the point of progressing in all of these other aspects of life when I never really grow as a person? And as a person, in the sense that I've become a more emotionally matured person, more of a person who has high emotional intelligence, someone who can read the room, someone who's sociable, someone who people can rely on and respect. You get what I mean? It does, all of these character traits doesn't come from the single fact that you keep working on yourself to the physical level. No, that there is a limit to that. You get to develop habits of discipline and other things. You see progress, you feel happy, you feel self-confident, you develop the self-confidence within yourself, which will reflect in the way you clearly speak to people and stuff like that. It'll boost your confidence, it'll help you be disciplined in other endeavors of your life. But what about maturity, emotional intelligence, social intelligence? There's a lot of things that really matters, you know? You could still get to a very good physique, you could become the fastest runner at your school, you could become the best footballer at your place, and still feel shit about yourself and still hate the way you're living, hate yourself so much. Why? Because you haven't really grown mentally. Maybe you can even relate to some of the things that I'm speaking right now. You know, I was this big of a person that I thought I was, but I couldn't really handle a lot of things. Uncomfortable situations. I couldn't handle uncomfortable conversations. I couldn't handle rejection. I couldn't handle a lot of things. I used to let my ego tell me that I'm too good for all of this. I let my ego control me. That's what I've literally written down here. When it comes to decisions and choices that you get to make in life, there's a lot that goes into it. A lot of thinking, which depends on the values and the beliefs that we have developed as time passed by and as we have experienced a lot of things. A routine, doing the same thing on a daily basis, does not add any new experience to your life. And experience is what helps the mind to explore and know that there is something new out there and to form an opinion or something based off of it, which eventually leads to developing or cultivating a new value or a belief that lets you live your life in a certain way. Experience. So discipline is one thing. That facet of self-improvement you're doing good at. But let's focus on the other facet of self-improvement, the other area that you need to truly work on and improve and understand that there is also this aspect of life out there. I love David Goggins. I don't think I would have really survived on my own all these years without David Goggins. No. He truly inspired me to do a lot of things, and he is the reason for my mentality as well, as to just doing things and not giving up. He's also someone that I look up to, and I know that, you know, whenever I'm going through a hard time, I look up to him in a way that I am like, oh yeah, he was able to go through stuff much worse than me and he came out at the top. If he was able to do it, then I will be able to do it as well, right? Goggins has extreme pain tolerance. Goggins has extreme mental strength. And we think that if I suffer enough, I'll become complete. But the truth of the matter is that pain tolerance is just one facet of a lot of things. Pain tolerance is just one thing. Emotional maturity is another. Social intelligence is another. Ego management is another. Self-improvement is not limited to habits. So now let's look at the different facets of self-improvement. Because I've stated this point that self-improvement is not just about habits. It's not something linear. It's not just about one thing that you focus on, which you think that if you focus on, it will magically improve the other areas of your life and it'll make you a wise person. No. The facets of self-improvement are, first one is the one that has been preached so much, which is physical discipline, that focuses on gym, health, routine, and consistency. Almost all of us by now have clearly built some of this on our own life, right? Training gave me so much confidence, but it just didn't really solve a lot of my issues. So I came to think about things and I was like, oh, there's multiple aspects to self-improvement. And the other one, B, A is physical discipline, B is emotional maturity. The questions that you should be asking yourself regarding emotional maturity should be if you can sit with discomfort, if you can sit with yourself, if you criticize your own actions, if you are able to not just criticize but understand the solutions to them, and if you're able to act on it as well. Can you let go of a person? Can you understand anger? Can you regulate your anger? Can you understand your ego? Can you keep it aside? Can you love yourself? When you are able to reflect on yourself, you know that you are imperfect and that there's a lot of things that you need to work on. This is where the ego comes and tells you that no, I'm good enough as a person. I've gotten to where I wanted to get to in terms of my physical discipline, so I'm not gonna improve this because I genuinely don't think that I need to work on this because I've really worked on myself. So I'm just gonna disregard it. No, brother. You are not emotionally mature if you think this way. Your ego is stopping you from growth. So you tell your ego that you love your ego, you're gonna let it cast aside and be like, I'm not gonna let it control me. No, I still have to work on a lot of things besides physical discipline. Yeah, I wanna become a good human being in the whole aspect of things. Someone that people can respect and rely on. You get what I mean? We are emotional beings. At the end of the day, we react very emotionally. There's been many times where I have reacted emotionally, and there will be a lot of times where even I will react emotionally and even you will react emotionally. But the extent or how bad it is depends on the choice that you make, right? And most of the time you have a control over the choices that you make, whether it be emotional or not. And when you have this certain sense of emotional maturity that comes with sitting with oneself, self-introspecting, letting the ego aside and understanding more about you and the person that you are, when it comes to what causes you anger, what causes you jealousy, what causes you all of these different things and how you can deal with them. When you understand a lot of things about yourself without letting your ego come in the way and tell you that you are good enough, you will be able to manage your emotions in a much better way, right? You will know what to do at the right situation, at the right time, at the right place. If you do not, then you watch people who you know for certain and you're not convincing yourself are better than you, but you know for certain are more emotionally mature than you. Some examples of such content creators would be content creators who read a lot of books. And female content creators, a few of them. One female content creator that I've watched is Central C's ex-girlfriend named Madeline RG. From her, I was able to learn a lot, get a lot of experience and exposure to the way a human mind thinks, how one is supposed to perceive oneself, and a lot of different perspectives on, like, powerful perspectives. Literally changed my life in a lot of ways, and I will continue watching her. Another one is Nick Munoz. Another one, which is Unsolicited Advice. These are, in my opinion, the best channels when it comes to receiving non-biased opinions, and they share a lot of evidence, experience, insights, lessons, perspectives that you truly can reflect on, and they encourage critical thinking as well. So they basically help you to be more of an emotionally mature person. And when you sit with yourself and when you focus on watching these long form videos for a while, you also develop this skill of being patient, which is very crucial to being an emotionally mature person. You need to develop patience, buddy. Like, what the fuck? And then C, the third aspect or facet of self-improvement is social intelligence. Are you able to read a room? You are talking to someone, and as you're talking to someone, there are so many cues that the other person gives that tells you literally that they are not interested in talking to you. Or maybe they feel a certain sense of like, oh, this person is not really listening to me. He's going on yapping. But then you are unable to read the situation. And like a dumbass, you keep on speaking to the person. Buddy, you are unable to read the room. You could be really jacked and still suck socially and mentally. Buddy, let your ego aside and accept this fact that these are different facets of self-improvement that you gotta constantly improve along with physical, and these coexist. They're independent. They're like species, independent species. Can you be authentic? Can you genuinely express yourself? Can you leave a conversation when you want to leave? Can you say no? Can you handle rejection? A lot of these questions that you could ask yourself, you get what I mean? Like, a lot of disciplined guys, just like us, are socially very underdeveloped. And maybe you would have even figured out this one thing, that a lot of people who aren't physically disciplined could be really good at social situations. With self-improvement, the goal is to be the best version of ourselves, and that includes the physical, the mental, and social. Emotional, basically. Mental basically means emotional. But yeah. But then again comes the most dangerous obstacle when it comes to improvement, which is ego. You gotta let go of your ego. I'm gonna create a whole different video on this, but just for the sake of this video, if somebody's watching up to this far and still doesn't want me to like create a different video on ego and stuff like that, I'm gonna continue with this, right? Ego, detachment. You gotta detach yourself from your ego. It's easier said than done, but there's this piece of advice that I got from Madeline RG, which is that ego, fear, anger, all of these are parts of ourselves, right? To truly let go of these things, or to truly not let them control us, you gotta love yourself. And how do you do that? Understand the fact that this first step is self-awareness. Oh yeah, I am scared right now, or my ego is stopping me from accepting the fact that I am not good at something. Second step is love your ego, or love that part of yourself that you kind of dislike. Oh, you know what, anger, you know what, fear, you know what, ego, at the end of the day, you are part of who I am. You are part of who I am. And I am on a journey to loving myself. So I am gonna love you so much. I love you, my dear ego. Step 3 is, I love you, my ego, but I'm not gonna let you control me. Fuck off. I love you. You're a part of me, anger. You're a part of me, fear. But I'm not gonna let you control me. Detach yourself from your ego to truly improve. You want to improve. Realign your goals. Accept these flaws. If you are insecure, love it. Be like, I love you, my insecurity, but I'm not gonna let you control me. Harder to accept it, but the more you do this, the more you come to terms with it, and the more you love yourself, even your flaws. And when you start loving your flaws, you'll understand that, you know, you are being more acceptable of your flaws, and that ego is not involved anymore, and that ego is not convincing you that you are good enough, and that there are some things or faces, or there are some aspects of yourself that aren't at the best or at where it should be right now, and your ego would have usually interrupted you, would have acted as an obstacle, but it doesn't anymore, and you're able to see that, and you're able to identify what your flaws are, so that you can then work on it. And another habit that helps you to do this in the best possible way is journaling. Journaling your thoughts down, writing it down, going to the depths of your mind. Self-introspection, self-retrospection leads to self-development. You become more of an emotionally mature person. You become someone who is able to be articulate. You become someone who is able to understand more about yourself. And when you understand more about yourself, you love yourself even more. And in social situations, or when you're dealing with people, or when you're dealing with a problem or anything, you will be able to navigate through it in a much better way than if you would have not done any of these things. You could be so good at one aspect or at one category, but then how is it proof of the fact that you have developed or evolved as a human being, that you're too good for anything else? No. Just because you wake up at 5 a.m., just because you read books, just because you lift heavy, doesn't mean that you're kind, doesn't mean that you're self-aware, doesn't mean that you're truly healed. No. Improvement is not really that easy. So, yeah. If you have reached this far of the video, I applaud you, and you will make significant progress in your life and your self-improvement. You can also ask yourself if you have been a victim of what I've been talking about, and if you have not really overlooked, or if you have really overlooked the other aspects of self-improvement just because someone has told you that going to the gym, working out, reading books, meditation is all that it takes. No, it's not. No, it's not. Even me personally, bro, I'm still learning. I'm also going through a lot of things. If there's a part of If there's a part that you want me to make a separate video about, let me know, a section in this video. Otherwise, I'll end the video here. I hope you're able to learn something new. You know, even I'm learning a lot. I've been reading a lot of books, not non-fiction, but fiction, which has really changed my perspective on a lot of things, made me more of a better man as well. So I'm still learning a lot of things. There are parts of me that are still very egoistic, strong, parts of me that are still like when I was really young. I need to understand that and stuff like that. You know, growth is not linear, like I said, it's layered, and even I'm improving as a person, even you are improving as a person, and I respect you for the fact that you have clicked on this video and you have reached this far into it, right? And I want to end this video with just this one thing that I've written down. You gotta improve everywhere in your life, not just at some facet or aspect of it that makes you look powerful, right? Improve everywhere, and your life will get significantly better. People will love you more and respect you more and will want to be with you more. Trust me when I say this. Love you. Take care. Bye-bye. Please comment. Alright then. See you.